I don't know about you, but since I've had the Durston X-Mid tent, I've always had just one issue with it, just one little issue. So first in the video, I'm gonna do a full guided pitch, so show you how I peg it, what I set my poles at, the poles I'm using and stuff like that, and then you can get a good idea of how I pitch it. It's going to be like a pretty in-depth review. So with the Durston, you get these pegs, which are really good pegs actually, and I really like them, but I also use my own as well. I like to have the can't get the word out, can't find the word what I want. I like to have the comfort of knowing I've got stronger pegs, very similar. So these are the ones that come with the tent, with the Durston, and then I just bring 4 of these ones as well, which are thicker than the standard ones. And yeah, I usually use these for like pegging the door out, the bungees on the side of the tent, and the guy lines as well, the storm lines. So yeah, let's get the tent pitched. Always have a pocket open, ready to put your bags in so you're not losing them. I always tip my pegs out as well, just tip all the pegs out, and it makes life 10 times easier. Got your corner. I pitched 2 corners out, that corner and this corner. The idea behind this tent is to get your pegs and your tent, the edges on your tent as tight as possible, and then when it comes to putting your trekking poles in, you're going to get the best pitch. So I'll show you on this side now. They say that this is the most important bit, the 3rd peg that you put in. It should be tight on both corners. Try and get a perfect 90-degree angle if you can. Like that. Tighten it up. And that is pretty much what you're looking for. So it's pretty much a perfect 90 degrees. But on this one, you just pull in a tent tight as possible. Not to the point where you're ripping it, just so it's nice and tensioned, like so. You can see all the sides are nice and tight, but not to the point of where you're overdoing it and ripping the seams basically. So I want to show you this bit because it's important. This grommet here, this is where the bottom, the spike side of your trekking pole sit. So I'll show you that more in depth now. So if you've never seen the Durston before, that's where your trekking pole sits, and that's obviously inside the tent. So yeah, I'll show you that more in depth now when I'm putting the trekking pole in. These are the trekking poles I use. It's the Trekology Trek Z pole, and it's like a telescopic trekking pole. So I just leave this open, and then with a Durston, your trekking pole goes in that way, and then once it's in the grommet that I just shown you, you just extend it. That tightens the tent up. And yeah, so at the minute I've got just 4 pegs in each corner, 2 trekking poles, and that is the tent pitched. Everything else is just for added secureness, rigidity. So yeah, really simple tent to get up, fast, efficient, convenient. And yeah, to get the base of the tent up, 4 pegs, 2 trekking poles. So yeah, that just sums up how easy it is really. So With the trekking pole, what I always do, the spike end, bottom of the trekking pole, put it in the little grommet, and then I just hold it there and use the tension of the tent. I'll bring you in closer so you can see. So I always use the tension of the tent just to hold the trekking pole into the grommet, and then extend the trekking pole like that. So as you can see, that trekking pole's sat in the grommet nicely. So as you can see, that's one trekking pole in, and you can see how taut that side is. Like, that's a really good pitch, and that is because I've tightened the tent up with all the 4 pegs before I put a pole in, so that really gets you a nice taut pitch. So yeah, same with the other trekking pole. Put it in the grommet, put it in the loop at the bottom. So same with all trekking pole tents really, you have that band at the bottom to put it to the same height. And as you can see, again, nice and taut on the edges. Both trekking poles are at the same height, so it's even all the way around. And then what you can even do now, if you want to, at this stage, once your trekking poles are in, just go around, pull all the line locks, and that'll just give you that extra bit of tautness in the tent. See, because I pegged mine out perfectly to begin with, I can't even pull them any tighter. That's like a perfectly tensioned tent. I literally cannot pull that any tighter. So that is a perfect pitch I've got there. So everything else on this tent is just like an additional extra for more stability, rigidity, and if you're in bad stormy weather, that's what it's for. It's just for that extra comfort. And so like this, for example, I use my own pegs, or stakes if you're American, and yeah, see, that just tightens that side up. And then you can do the same with the door as well. So a really good tip on the dust, and if you just pull this towards the inner of the tent, that'll just take a bit of tension off your door, off your zipper. So really good little tip there. Same with this side. Take the tension off the door. And then you have the storm lines as well. So according to the Durston website, these should be parallel to your ridge line. So I'll show you what I mean now. So like that. Like that. So the storm guy is pegged, and if you follow the line up, that's perfectly parallel, well, not far off, to the ridge line of the tent, and that should hold it. So that's the tent fully pitched. Perfect pitch, that. You can see the shape of it there perfectly. So this is a review of the tent, by the way, and I do have one issue with it, which I'll tell you very soon, and it really bugs me. It's only quite a small issue, but it's still annoying. Stand them trekking poles up properly. Right, so before we get in the tent, I just want to tell you the weight of the full setup. So the tent, the sack, and the 6 stakes weighs in at 875 grams. You've got the inner tent weighing 305, the stuff sack 12 grams, 6 stakes are 12 grams each. And yeah, that comes in, weighs all in at 875 grams, and that is for everything. Moving inside the tent, so the floor length is 90 inches, which is 2.3 meters. So that's the length of the tent from end to end, and I will lie in it as well so you can get a good idea. I'm 5'10", so I'll give you a better idea. The floor width is 32 inches, which is 81 centimeters. The peak height is 46 inches, which is 117 centimeters. The floor fabric is a 20D sil poly. So this tent is polyester, not sil nylon. So yeah, it doesn't sag or go saggy if it gets wet. Yeah, I'm 5'10", and I'm gonna put my feet right to the end like that, so my feet are right at the end, and that's the headroom I've got. So, you know, I've got ample headroom there, so much space. And as I mentioned earlier as well, so if I turn the camera around, you can just see how much space there is, and there's no mesh or materials rubbing off your face or anything. You can see Hannah there filming a little behind the scenes. And yeah, there's just so much, you know, it's not like these saggy tents that when you're lying down it feels like you're in a coffin and you're going to drown almost. So yeah, plenty of room in there. The fly of the tent has a hydrostatic head of 3,500 millimeters. The zippers on the tent are YKK Aqua Guard zippers. So before we go any further, I'm just going to read some of the features off the Durston website, and it'll give you a better idea of what to expect if you decide to buy this tent. Or yeah, so I'll start at the top and then I'll just work my way down the website. So patented X-Mid geometry with twin offset poles provides best in-class headroom, living space, stormworthiness and ease of pitching. Spacious. The diagonal offset pole ridgeline increases headroom and interior volume by 15 to 25% compared to a perpendicular ridgeline, and by 30 to 50% compared to a single pole shelter. As I just mentioned earlier, it's got a non-sag fabric. So the X-Mid has been a pioneer of lightweight polyester fabric. Polyester doesn't absorb water and sag like nylon, so the shelter retains its structural integrity in wet conditions. Our passionate advocacy for polyester was initially met with resistance from many essential companies using nylon, but has since led to polyester becoming widely recognised as a superior material. Stormworthy shape. The X-Mid shape provides consistently moderate panel slope which balance wind and snow shedding to provide excellent all-round performance. All the panels are an ideal 50 to 55 degrees, while most tents contain a less consistent mix of shallower panels. It's got a full coverage fly, extends low to the ground to block drafts and rain splatter, but also can be raised for higher increased ventilation. Double wall. A full double wall design with separate fly and inner components avoids potential contact with fly condensation and allows for modular use, including pitching the inner only in fair weather and using the fly as a tarp shelter for 1 or 2 occupants. So quite versatile there as well. It's got dual vestibules, which are large, tall, and put the main area beside the door instead of blocking it. A backpack fits easily in the main area. which it really does. The vestibules are absolutely huge on this thing. It's got dual doorways, so it's mirrored on both sides, so both doors are. It's got dual vents. The dual adjustable peak vents minimise condensation yet can close during harsh conditions. It's got optimal guy outs, so as I've shown you before, all the guy outs on the side. I think this tent has well over 12 guy out points all the way around it. And then you've got the storm guy lines as well. Another thing I mentioned earlier as well is the simple pitch of it. So ultra simple pitch with just 4 stakes. The inner tent can be added separately or left clipped inside for a quicker setup. It's got dual pockets, collapsible vestibules, can be collapsed to fit the tent into smaller sites. That's one thing I really love about this tent as well. It's called the narrow pitch, so you can actually make the tent, like it just said, you can close one of the vestibules down so it will fit in small gaps between rocks on the hills or small campsites. Another thing as well, fully waterproof seams, so all the seams are fully waterproof and taped. Unlike many trekking pole shelters, our seams are factory waterproof, so user seam sealing is not required. We use a mix of seam taping and proprietary waterproof seam technology. So what are my thoughts on this tent though? I absolutely love it. I've used it for about two months now, I'd say. And since I bought this tent, I've not been in my Lanshan. Obviously it's a dearer tent, better materials. Don't get me wrong, I still love the Lanshan and I will camp in it again. This tent just does everything I want it to do. I've put it through its paces as well. It's been in hail, heavy wind, like 40-mile-per-hour winds with the storm guy lines pitched, rain, heavy wind, hail, anything you can throw at it, I've pretty much threw at it, apart from 100-mile-per-hour winds. But there is one issue I have with it. It's only one issue and it's really small, but it's an annoyance. So I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, I'm just impressed with this tent. I just love it. Like I said, it does everything I want it to do. It's perfect for me, perfect for what I do as well, like long distance hiking, my Jogo track coming up, plenty of headroom. I don't feel claustrophobic like you do in other tents with a low ceiling on it, if you like, because you can sit up in that and the top of the tent doesn't even touch your head when you're in the middle of it. Just little features. It's just like all the peg out points you've got, the versatility of it, the convenience and how easy it is and how quick it is to pitch. It's not bad on condensation either. I've had a little bit of condensation here and there, but nothing that's like dripping all over my face and getting me soaked. That's not to mention just some of the little features like the inner door toggles. So all the air is a little tiny bit of bungee, and it's such a simple idea. Like you get these tents with these like stringy bits of fabric and they just don't work. Whereas on the inner doors, it's just a bit of bungee, you just tie a knot and it'll stay there until you undo that knot. It's not even a knot, it's just a loop tightened up. So yeah, all in all, I really love it. I'm so glad I got it, and I feel 100% confident in it. I mean, like I said, I've been in 40 to 45 mile per hour winds in it, so I feel pretty confident in this tent now. I reckon I could put it in even harsher conditions and it'd hold up to it as well. Like that pitch I've got now, it's steady as a rock, it ain't going anywhere. And as I read out earlier, the design and the geometry of this tent, it just sheds the wind. They say that you should point, so if you're in high wind, I only learnt this the other day, I'm not gonna lie, you should point the ridge line to the wind, and then obviously you can see the design of the tent there. If wind's hitting this side here, it's just going on either side and it's just blowing off. So that's how this tent sheds off wind, snow, sleet. But I did say I had one issue, and this is the issue I have. So when you're in this tent in strong winds, it's really good. Like, I feel safe in it, you know what I mean? I camped in Wastwater. In Wastwater? No, I didn't camp in Wastwater. I camped like next to the water. And it was brilliant in the wind. So, but that's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is the door toggle, the magnetic door toggle. Don't get me wrong, it's a brilliant idea, but the magnet's just not strong enough. I know they can't put a huge magnet in there because then the tent will be heavy. It wouldn't weigh like just under 900 grams, would it? But this door toggle in heavy wind, it just snaps undone. And like, I don't know, it's quite dangerous, because if you're cooking in your vestibule or something, and let's be honest, the vestibules are more than big enough to cook in and make a brew in. Even with the door shut, you got plenty of airflow going under the tent as well, so you're never gonna, you know, get poisoned by carbon monoxide in this tent. But yeah, in strong winds, this just flaps about, and that magnetic toggle comes undone, and then, you know, if that falls into your flame or something like that, it's just game over for the tent, innit? So that's the only issue I have, really. I know it is a small issue, but it's still an issue. And the last thing you want is to be cooking and that going and it falling into your flame. Like, you just don't want that. So, but I've genuinely not found anything else. Like, honestly, if there was anything else, I'd tell you, but there's really not. I'm just really happy with it. As you can see as well, I've not even used all the guy out points. So you've got one here, you've got another one there on the vent, you've got another one there, and both sides of the tent are mirrored as well. So you've got plenty of tie out points there. If you really wanted to bunker down in this tent in over 50 mile/hour winds, I really think you could. They say that on the website as well, like it's storm worthy. And I really, for a trekking pole tent, I think it's just unreal. It really is. It really is. Right, so I'm gonna have to make this one pretty quick because my camera is on like 28% and I'm stupid, I don't have another battery charged. So I'm going to show you a couple of picture variations and then we'll end the video there, but there's some good ones, so stick around to the end to see some of these different pictures. So basically this pitch is perfect for nice summer weather. So what you're going to do for this one is take the peg out, unclip not butcher it like me. You're going to unclip the inner from the outer, peg down the inner, then you're going to take this and just roll it. Just keep rolling. Unclip this bit as well, so it can go right back. Like that. And literally that opens that full side of the tent. And you could even use this as a stargazer mode as well. So if I lie in there now, I'll show you. If I lie in there now, that'll be a perfect stargazer mode. In beautiful weather, I could just lie under the stars and that'll be perfect. Oh my god. Not gonna lie, I didn't want to move. I didn't want to move. If you want to go that one step further as well, you can actually open the tent out a little bit more as well. So they recommend on the website tying this little bit here of the vestibule to the finger. But what I found is you can just peg it out as well. And as you can see, that fully opens up the tent, which I absolutely love. Like in summer, hopefully on my Jogo track, I'm going to use some of these modes and maybe just sleep under the stars one night, which will be absolutely lovely. Another nice little mode you can do. I can't fully show you this one because I've not brought an extra trekking pole. But this is basically porch mode, so you can create kind of like a canopy. So if you have an extra trekking pole, you bring this out, and basically that's how it works. So it almost fully covers your vestibule, which is a neat little mode as well. So that's that one. We also have a mode on the website called the Desert Pitch. So basically what they say is it's perfect for using the desert pitch in sandy conditions. It saves using your zippers because the sand can get inside the zipper and be quite harsh and break it. So basically what the desert pitch is you unclip this, peg the inner like we did on that corner before, roll it up, and that allows you to get inside your inner without using your zip. So yeah, that's a really good mode as well. So I've shown you a few variations there. What I can show you with what I've got, that's not even including the proper Stargazer kit you can buy, full Stargazer mode, so that's completely taking the fly off and just lying under the mesh really. You've also got just a canopy mode where you take the full inner out, and that can sleep up to 2 people. So you can actually, if you really wanted to and the weather was nice enough, you could actually turn this tent into a 2-man tent. Plenty of space in there for 2 people without the inner. So yeah, that's it from me and for this review. I've shown quite a few features there, shared some of my thoughts on the tent. Like I said, I really do love this tent. It's absolutely brilliant. It's probably the best bit of kit I've actually bought for me while camping. I just love it. It's just absolutely perfect for me. A lot of the time I do camp on my own as well, so like I said, it's just perfect. The colour, the design, the shape, the storm worthiness, the convenience of the features as well. Like everything is just simple but effective, and that's all I love. So yeah, like I said, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, it helped you out in any way, please consider liking the video, hit that subscribe button as well, it helps me out massively. And yeah, thanks so much for watching, I really appreciate you. Yeah, that's the that's the man coming out. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Live and direct from Hartshead Pike. View of Manchester city centre over there. And yeah, I will see you next time.